evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
Let's try that one more time. Good evening. My name is Helix, and tonight I will be your raconteur of despair. Welcome to the grind. When we reach the end of our line, the things we've done can echo and permeate into other lives and the world around us after we're gone. Who we are in those moments is oftentimes how we're remembered. Some might say they remember the good things, the good deeds that they've done in life. Depending on how you lived your life, that may not be the case. But in these moments, it truly defines your spirit, your character. It can be a testament to what you wish to see in the world and reveal who you truly are. Tonight, we will see the most extreme moments of what can only be described as monstrous human beings with good intentions, leading themselves down a very dark path. But as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. we pick up our story directly in the moment where we left off. And Octavius Hollander, after being magically attacked by the Hellraiser, found himself to be an adversary because it would appear to him that they have indeed made their choice. Their choice to come here and kill this man. However, it may not be as easy as they first thought. As Octavius stands as still as ever, we will begin our scene here. Well, is that all you got?
You wish. I'm gonna dive from my knife.
The knife is in his hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and wrestle it from him.
You will have to climb over the table or go around it. Which do you wish to do?
Directly over the table.
Roll fitness.
Uh, 91 versus 30. Can I reverse that using my fear?
Yes, you can. However, wait.
Okay.
Normally, the way combat works in this system, everyone declares what they are going to do, and then whoever has the higher stats would go first. So, you've declared your action, you've made your intent. He allowed you to go first. Tripper, Fortune Thief.
I'm going to cast Wind of Mind, Water of Body. It's a defensive spell that allows me to, if someone hits me and does damage, I only take a number of wounds equal to the 10 space.
Very well. Fortune Thief.
I am going to, upon Eve, cast the spell Destiny's Favored. For the next 24 hours, luck seems to follow you. Whenever you 10% boost, however, if you 24 hours,
Your audio is cutting out there. Say that one more time.
And I need the help, audio, please.
oh, pardon. It's probably because I was loading the Google Doc. Cast the spell Destiny's Favored on Eve. For the next 24 hours, all the rolls get a 10, but if I ever break taboo within those 24 hours, the effect ends early.
Okay. You will have to be mindful of her actions. So, all of you may roll. Octavius chooses to go last.
I rolled
what am
a-
I roll? Oh. Go ahead.
I rolled a crit, 1 versus 52.
Okay.
I rolled a double, 88. I don't know if that does anything.
It does. It does not work in your favor. And it is
80 versus
significantly worse than you thought. Hellraiser is a fail. Morven, describe how your spell would backfire in a very bad way.
I attempt to start shifting through fate in order to grant better luck to Eve for the foreseeable, but as I start to glow in bits and bobs all over and my hair starts to float up, I realise that it's not working, but all too late as my nose starts bleeding and my ears start bleeding and my head hurts. And I just come out in a pained scream.
Morven drops to her knees and screams as she bleeds into the floor. Tripper, describe the perfect instance of how your spell works.
You see me put my hands to my forehead, and I'm muttering something to myself in a language that's primordial and guttural and visceral, and there's a lot of consonants and hissing and popping sounds, and you can almost see a little bit of surprise in my own face as I pull my hands away. Not even a sentence or two later, the spell works much more quickly than I was expecting it to. And when you see that happen, you see a red spot, blood red, start on my forehead and spread out over the skin of my face and down and around and all the way down my body through my extremities into my fingertips. And all of a sudden I look like I am just soaked and covered in blood, like someone has skinned my entire body. And you see the blood that's covering me kind of ripple like a perfectly still pond that just had a pebble tossed into it.
Hellraiser, as you jump and leap into the straight forward direction of Octavius, you are halted by an unseen force. Tell me how your fear activates.
Fight.
What happens?
I'm gonna try and struggle against it and strike my arms out and try and kick my legs at whatever is grabbing me.
It's not really a tangible object. It's more like gravity. You go to push forward through this barrier in front of this altar type table, and it's just like you can't push hard enough. It's like gravity is fighting against you. Octavius looks at all of you very calmly. Well, I expected more. Now, my turn. Lightning strikes the Hellraiser and blinds everyone in the room. Eve, this is the most pain you have ever felt. It rips into your shoulder and explodes out the bottom of your leg. You drop to the ground as you can no longer stand on your leg. The bones are shattered. You amateurs think you can destroy me? Armies have tried. You are nothing.
I'm not nothing.
Indeed you are. If you're not, then show me. We enter into the second round. What do you wish to do?
I would like to cast Primordial Abomination and spawn forth from my body a nightmare's flesh servant that will last until I sleep. It's about the size of a Great Dane. And it looks however I want it to look, and I'm assuming it will obey my commands.
If you roll properly. Hellraiser, what do you wish to do?
So I've fallen onto the floor at this point, or am I still locked
on the
in that
floor.
gravity? Okay.
It's not a gravity that locks you. It's just you can't pass over that thing. It prevents you.
I'm gonna try and crawl towards my knife. Where is it? Still in his hand?
Yes.
I'm crawling towards him with my intention of grabbing from my knife.
Okay. Fortune Thief. Everyone is blinded, so you're trying to acclimate in this. It's like getting hit with a flash grenade. Your ears are ringing.
I think on Eve, I am. Oh, no, wait, no, I can't do it. I can't see. Gosh.
Everything is like whited out a little bit and fuzzy. You can see a little bit, but you're also bleeding from the eyes. Things did not go well.
Okay. I think I'm going to good fortune on Eve.
Describe good fortune. I believe your camera has halted.
It's a beautiful time for the internet to pause.
1 second. And we're back. Apologies. Fortune Thief, describe what your spell does to Eve.
Okay, so you add a percentage of boost to your next result, equivalent to the nearest 10% of the roll's result rounded down. So for example, if you roll a 19, you get a 10% boost. If you roll a 74, you get a 70% boost. If I roll, or you roll anything less than a 10, you get no boost whatsoever. This is for both you and me.
You're going to make your roll first.
What, to cast the spell?
Yes. Basically, your roll. Yeah. Okay, that's a success. You're going to get a. Was it 50% boost?
Next result, so whatever I do next.
Oh. Is it what you do next or what she does next?
Both.
Okay. Good. As you... Do you need contact for this spell to work?
No.
Okay. Well, you sense her crawling past you, and I assume you would cast the spell then. So, Hellraiser, you're going to go next.
I'm going to grab for my knife.
Roll struggle.
Three versus 60.
You grab your knife. However, something chills you. And you're going to have to make your unnatural roll now, because this is an attack on your unnatural.
Okay, so attacking unnatural. Defend with knowledge. 32 versus 55.
This will give you a hardened.
Okay.
You reach through his incorporeal body to grab your knife. However, he does not let go.
I don't need him to let go.
Water,
I have.
ice water chills through your body.
Did I have to get up to grab it, or am I still laying down?
You're still laying down. I mean, unless you know how to stand up on one leg while the other one is completely shattered.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
But that is your action. You are successful.
Okay. Okay.
Stripper.
Okay, here goes nothing. 32 versus 52.
Describe to us the horrific event that takes place.
It looks almost identical to what happened when I summoned the worms for him earlier when we were making our deal. I start kind of undulating and looking like a cat that's about to hork up a hairball, and my whole body, before you know it, is like convulsing and making all these dramatic movements. And then I lean over on the final hork, and then this like almost never-ending continuous spew of these long writhing worms just shoots out of me like projectile vomit, and it keeps coming and coming and coming until there's this giant puddle about 3 feet wide and about 4 feet high on the ground, and it's this writhing mass of red and white and black as my little ebony talons, which are extending as this is happening. And then finally I finish horking all of it up, and there's this mass of undulating worms with blood and bone and teeth just snapping and crawling and looking for something to kill.
Fortunately for the Hellraiser, they don't see this yet, but you hear it. Fortune Thief, you're gonna have to make a roll. Damn. Camera froze again. Are we back?
Hello?
There we go.
Yay, okay. Right. What am I rolling for?
Attack on your unnatural.
Oof, okay. Defend knowledge. Oh, I have a thing that substitutes for this.
This will be a hardened. But this is the most vile thing you have ever witnessed. It's just blood and flesh. It is beyond the stuff of nightmares. And what's even worse is after she's done, it continues to grow in size. Four, 5, 6 feet tall. Then it begins to sprout what would be tendrils that form into claws and snap bones that come out of nowhere into place and form legs, and begins to hulk and stand up as its chest splits open and teeth begin to form, and sinuous, muscular, blood-coated tendrils come out of its mouth, almost sensing the air around it. Eyes will split open on the shoulders, black with red slit irises, all bleeding. It moves and shifts around. What is your command for this monstrosity?
I wanted to go straight for Octavius. And, if it... Like, I don't want to accidentally metagame, but when I saw Hellraiser earlier, flailing against that. I'm assuming it was a force field or something that was holding her back.
Yeah, she had to crawl around it.
Okay, so yeah, so I guess if it's limited in scope and there's a way to crawl around it, then I guess it doesn't matter. So yeah, my command is just for it to go for Octavius, get to him, kill him, no matter what it takes.
It takes off and barrels over. It steps right over you, Morven. Bits of blood, flesh, and organs fall on top of you. And it goes to rip into Octavius. Octavius sees this coming. Still, not even remotely phased. Well, it's been a while since I've seen one of those. And he looks straight at it. Once again, you are all blinded. You are all nothing. And you will continue to be so. You watch, even as this hulking creature is struck with lightning, and its back just flays open, and blood atomizes into the air. It continues to flail, but it flails at nothing. As its strikes go through his body. All of you are deafened once more. We enter into the third round of combat. The damage on this hulking creature was extremely significant. It's partially on fire as most of its back has been splayed open and exploded. Smell of burnt flesh seeps into the air, along with the copper scent of blood. Hellraiser, you see this creature flailing right over top of you. Time to roll.
Okay, I want to grab for and break my pendant.
Grab for
The pendant that's on the table.
You have to roll your
My
unnatural
necklace.
first.
Oh, okay. Roll, let's see. Defend with knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay. I've used my fear, but I have not used my rage. Can I use my rage to reroll?
What is your rage?
Being unable to intimidate somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my. Oh my. This is the worst possible outcome. Your rage activates. And because you activated rage, you failed this roll. Your only choice is to fight. Knowing that you cannot touch Octavius, and this creature is physical, your first instinct is to kill it. It is soaked in blood. It is made of everything that you can't have. In order to attack this creature, you have to let go of your knife. And that is what you do because you are horrified by a thing beyond nightmares. Your first instinct is to dive straight forward. When you dive straight for it, flailing, its chest just opens straight up. And the teeth encapsulate your body. At least half of it. As they puncture into the sides of your ribs. You hear the muffled screams of the Hellraiser being eaten after diving headlong into this creature. It's inside of its mouth. It's like acid, and it begins to melt your flesh rapidly. It's almost like it's using you for fuel. Who wishes to go next?
I have an idea. So the Hellraiser is dying, but she's not dead yet, is she?
Her flailing is rapidly becoming the semblance of a limp corpse. She's losing her strength to kick her legs.
And how much time did you say earlier that my special little portal spell would take to cast? 2 rounds?
Yes.
Could I command my creature to spit her out? And could I grab her and grab Morbin and start casting the spell?
That is a complex action. But I will let you make a roll. You can choose connect, or you can choose your identity. Other teeth begin to split open. It looks like this thing is healing itself and growing back together.
Can I roll my Skinamancer identity?
That's the identity I was telling you. You can choose
Yeah,
that.
I'll roll that one.
Okay.
52 versus 52. Can I use my rage?
That is considered a crit.
Oh, okay. never mind then.
A 1 and the number you need to roll beneath. If you roll that number, that is a crit. Congratulations. You watch as this thing turns to you. All of its teeth just kind of bend and snap at you because you are commanding it to take its food away. After it's already in the process of eating, its eyes lock and it spits her 30 feet into the middle of the floor. Her skin from the waist up, it's gone. However, there's no blood. She's coated in a thick mucus, but it's dissolving her body. You know for a second there should be more blood. She's not bleeding. You do see the fibrous muscles of her body. Eyes have been completely melted out. She lets out a gasp as oxygen comes in and nothing comes out but a scream. You reach for Morven, hook her arm, and I assume you run towards the center of the room.
Towards wherever it spat Eve out, yes.
Yes. And you begin casting the ritual?
Yes, I do.
You watch as she starts chanting while holding Morven. And Eve's body begins to snap and contort, almost in the form of the pose that sealed the other people in the rituals. However, the body begins to snap further and splay open, and then melt almost into the floor. Blood does begin to pool out of nowhere and swirl on the floor. Morven, did you take your turn yet? I don't believe you did.
No, I have not. No.
You are jerked over and you've witnessed this, everything. What do you wish to do? As you see your friend being melted and twisted and contorted, their bones crack.
Well, due to the result of my last action, I should have a 50% boost to whatever I do now. And in a sheer blind grief at seeing this happen to my friend, I search frantically for Octavius, but I don't. Although I don't need to see him in order for this spell to work, I just...
You can see him.
Viciously try and...
Your vision is blurry, but you can see.
I try to cast the spell Dark Omens on him. You pull injuries and afflictions from other fates of a nearby target onto their current self. Small scars, bruises, and rashes spread over their flesh.
Normally you would have a negative shift of 40. However, your boost of 50 gives you a positive shift of 10 in your favor.
roll my identity.
Yes. Sorry. That is a 5. What does your spell look like when you cast it?
My eyes glow. Parts of my skin start to sort of like fall off and rise up, revealing glow underneath it, like flecks of paint coming off and revealing a deep purple glow underneath. And pulling through various fates, multiple faint, ghosted over versions of myself, some looking similar, some looking not so similar. Kind of all just flail around in the one spot for a second, as slowly the effects of the spell, small injuries, nicks, tears, bruises, small swells, start to cover Octavius, provided it works.
You begin to see the lacerations form on his visage, and he does not react, but he can sense them. It's like he's recalling memories rapidly. And once you see all of the scars form on him, he looks up at you and he's like, "Well done. I am indeed impressed. That was significant. Now, allow me to return the favor." Twice, you are struck. Lightning travels through your body.
Can I cast my Luck of the Damned spell in reaction to this?
Does your spell specifically say you can cast as a reaction?
Well, I'm not sure how else it would work. The first line is reduce all damage just inflicted on you by one source to 0.
Okay. Normally you would have to cast this when actions are declared. He is going to attack whoever's standing. Your action was to attack him first, and he allowed you to attack him first, so that was your action for this round. Next round, if he attacks you again, you can cast that as a reaction.
Okay. Very well. Oof.
However, you're going to be distracted as parts of your body split open and explode. There is the deafening sound. You might be permanently deaf, Stripper, as lightning strikes right next to you. The vision you have of this symbols that cover the room, they're visibly creating this lightning. Eve, or Morven, your legs give out and you fall to your knees as part of your back rips open. Your leg explodes. Your shoulder torn. Stripper. Do you continue with your ritual?
So, I'm blind and I'm deaf, but I can sense where the lightning is coming from.
You saw just before it lit up that the runes on the ceiling and the walls were generating this magical electricity. Right before everything went white for a second and you became deaf. It's brief, but it's equivalent to having a gun fired right next to you.
I'm just wondering if it would be a good idea to try my Split the Mountain spell to see if I could somehow destroy those runes.
That is your choice. However, you will have to stop your ritual. If you stop, the ritual is wasted on the material components required. I'll put it lightly. Is it lightly?
Well, she's gonna die anyway, right?
She, at this point, is dead.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and continue the spell. I'll continue the ritual, sorry.
Okay.
Mhm.
You watch the bones that were cracking open and splintering. They begin to melt and almost turn into like a white film that begins to swirl in a reverse circle. Somewhere along the way, Morven's blood begins to mix and absorb into this puddle that is rapidly forming into a vortex. You have an option. I don't want to give it away, but you know that he guards the vault, right?
Yeah.
That's what he cares about most. And you do still have a verbal command that you can do while you continue to cast the ritual. It's not necessarily a verbal command, it's more telepathic since you technically don't speak.
A command on my pet monster or a command to do anything?
Your monster.
Okay. Telepathically, I communicate to the monster. Protect me, my child. Kill him.
It begins to flail away at him. And it
Oh
just
wait, that's
passes
right.
through
Hold
him.
on. He just... Can I rewind?
Who says I can't be a benevolent GM? What do you wish the
Okay,
command
then.
to be?
I command the monster. Find the vault and destroy it.
It immediately turns to its left as the vault door is right there. And it begins to smash and hammer at the wall. Visibly, you see him become alert. And he turns. And another lightning strike goes towards your monster. Morven, you are still here. You are significantly in pain. And you can see, albeit blurry. And hearing is slightly difficult. But you watch the floor rip open. And reveal, is that a cave, a pool? Is that some kind of other hell mouth? This is an attack on your unnatural.
Okay. Sorry, my roll's taking a sec. My Chrome's lagging out for some reason, sorry. Might take a second.
Would you like me to roll for you, or would you like to?
Yes, actually, that would probably be faster. Thank you.
Okay. 72. And she freezes. She freezes literally. Her only choice was to freeze. Alright, we will be back. Once again. And we're back. So, you rolled a 72. Is that a pass or a fail for you? Mormon.
Yeah.
Is that a pass or a fail? 72.
Oh, I don't know.
An attack on your unnatural? Or wait, what did you wish to do?
Roll my occultist identity, which I can do now if you like.
What was your action?
I wasn't having an action yet. I was defending my unnatural because the whole...
Oh, yes. So 72 is a fail? Yes or no?
Did I roll a 72?
I rolled for you.
Last mark is. Oh.
So it was an attack on your unnatural, which you need to defend with your knowledge. What is your knowledge?
Okay. Oh, my knowledge. Well, I can roll for myself now if you like, but.
I already rolled.
Why? What, like how many notches I have?
Yes, what's the number?
One second. Use a ticking zone.
It would be the top.
Okay, so my knowledge is 50.
Okay. So do you have any passions that would come into play?
Well, there would be my either the my fear is to do with infestations. I don't know if the monster thing would apply to that. And then there's my obsession, which is protecting loved ones from danger.
Okay. That would make it a 27. How does this activate within you as you see the soup that was the Hellraiser rip open into a great beyond?
I would just... I would scream out in absolute grief after seeing one of the people closest to me in my life be used like this, meet their end like this. They didn't deserve this. I'm sure it fucking hurt as well to melt and then be used in this ritual. And I just sort of try and make a run for Octavius, I guess.
You're being held by the stripper.
And then I try and break free.
Stripper, what is your vampiric Strigoi identity number at?
30%.
Okay. You're gonna have to roll under 30 with your fitness. Or struggle, sorry.
Let's see.
Not you, stripper. Morgan.
Okay. Um,
Actually, I'm sorry. You have to roll over a 30. If you roll under a 30, it's a fail. Well, maybe not. She breaks free as you're casting this spell, and the portal opens up, and she runs towards Octavius. What do you wish to do as we enter into the third round?
I sort of cry out as she escapes my grasp.
She's about
It's
10
not
feet
quite
away.
a no. Oh, okay. Well, I'm feeling like this particular tree branch is especially fucked. So, I'm kind of dead set on dragging her into this other realm with me. So I launch my stinger out, but I don't bite her. I wrap it around like her arm or her leg, and I drag her back towards me.
Roll your vampiric identity.
(17 versus 30).
You merely need to take a few steps forward and then a few steps back if you wish to go into the portal.
I'll do that, and I'll take her with me.
Okay. Morven, as you flee in rage, not in fear, going after Octavius, something snakes around your neck and under your arm and lifts you off the ground. And you can feel like this wet muscle. And you gasp as you are pulled back. And when you think you're about to hit the ground, you look up and see you fall through it. And the distance closes. The portal shuts. Cries of the monster fade. And you are left in this air of uncomfortable silence while being held. You turn around and you see this long protrusion that is wrapped around you, attached to her jaw that is flailed open, teeth. As you know, she pulled you into this expanse where you have no gravity, no oxygen, but you don't need to breathe, but you know you're not breathing. Lights pass over you through this membrane expanse. What do you wish to do? The scene is yours.
what did you do? Where are we?
I did the only thing we could do. Eve was dead. There was no bringing her back. Octavius was too powerful for us, like I knew he would be, but I knew I couldn't convince Eve otherwise. I needed her so that we could escape and live.
So you fucking melted her corpse? Really? That was the only way?
Would you rather have stayed in that library and died? At least now you have a second chance.
A second chance at what? Eve is dead, and...
She's dead in this branch of the tree, but there are infinite numbers of Eves who are alive and well in other worlds and realms.
I know, but they're not my Eve. And there was someone else in there, and I don't know if there are infinite versions of them. And now they're gone.
I don't know if it's so much that there are infinite versions of Octavius as he has infinite roots in all of the other branches.
No, not him. I only give a shit about him up until the point at which he dies.
Well, then we can find a new branch. We can find a new Eve. And all of us.
I can't just find a new child.
It's always hard when you're young. But trust me, it gets easier.
Have you ever given birth, Lorelei?
Yes. Once. Many more years ago than I care to admit.
Have you seen infinite versions of them?
There was only one version. It died in my arms while I was still bleeding on the table. It never had a chance.
Well then, yes. Maybe I would have rather stayed back there.
You really just want to roll over and die? You don't want to try again?
Try again at what?
To stop existence as we know it from ending.
Well then, what the fuck were we doing back there? We were on the side of Cinderman trying to get on the fucking clergy.
I was hoping maybe, just maybe, Octavius could talk some sense into Eve, but she and her daddy issues were a little too far gone.
But there are other versions of Eve then.
There are. Some are very different. 68 versus 45. Or I could just lie to her if I don't outright know.
As a GM, I'm going to advise you to use a passion here.
Use a passion?
If you can.
But wouldn't that flip it to an 86?
Can you use your obsession? Yes, you can. Okay. You can re-roll if you want to use any of your other passions, or you can use your obsession and you can re-roll or flip it. So I would say you can re-roll because it's directly related to your magic and what you just did.
Okay. Just re-roll knowledge, or can I re-roll any skill I
Reroll
want?
knowledge.
Okay. 35 versus 45.
Okay. When you witnessed, this is the light bulb that goes off in your head in an instant. When you witness the other Morven make a choice inside the Babylon Club that echoed to every instance of Ewan's fate, you remembered that what happens in a nexus point reverberates to every other point. And then you remember there are three. One, the Babylon Club. Two, the friend in the cell phone, Echo, their lair, which you have not visited, and library.
So she died in the library, so she's dead everywhere.
As a direct result of magic. Yes.
Well, I can't just leave her here. I have to get her to come with me.
That's a light bulb that goes, oh.
I look at Morven and I say, there's no one else in your life that you can't live without? No family, no friends, no lovers that you wouldn't give anything to be with again?
Do you?
She kind of chuckles to herself a little bit in a almost like a crazy person kind of way for like a second, not for very long, and she kind of strokes a little beauty mole on her cheek, and then she kind of herself and puts her hand down and looks at Morven and says, it's complicated, but there are some people I'd give up an entire universe to see again, just once. And I'm giving you that chance. Tell me who you want to be with, and we can find them.
Well, everyone I did care about that deeply is in some way or another dead. So unless you can magically bring them back to life again somehow in some way, then fine, I can write out an entire fucking list for you.
It's not
Otherwise,
about bringing.
no.
It's not about bringing that person back to life. It's about finding the branch of reality in which they never died.
As a fortune mancer, this interests you, Morven.
No.
But there's a catch. In that same reality, it has to be one where they never died, but you are not currently alive.
Or you could kill the one in that reality.
I kind of have a feeling maybe she's a little too squeamish for that.
Just making a clarification.
I'm kind of not giving her the benefit of the doubt and maybe babying her a little bit. I don't think she would have the stomach to kill herself. Well, let me put it this way. It would be best if we found a reality where you were not currently alive. Because the same person cannot exist in one reality simultaneously.
Fine. I'm here, so guess I'm stuck with you now.
I extend my hand and I ask her, are you ready to embark?
Take a deep breath, and I take her hand, but loosely.
You go to take a deep breath, and there's no air.
I flinch a little in cognitive dissonance for a second before ignoring it. I loosely take her hand. Fuck it.
So, we see them embark into the never. On a path neither one is certain of. Back in the reality they just left, we see Octavius dispatch this hulking monster with little effort. You watch his flesh just kind of burn up into ash. The blood on the floor disappears, cleans itself. He goes back to standing perfectly still, looking forward. He looks down and he places Eve's blade on the table. A few moments later, we see a woman walk in. Ah, yes. I've been expecting you. I believe I have held my end of the bargain and have collected what you have asked for. However, the cost, I believe, is too high. We turn and pan to the woman.
Did you collect her spawn? Good. It would appear that this world is dying. I can sense it. However, I know we are close. And this essence will allow us to further our goals. It would appear you gathered the artifact of the protege. This will be necessary to further our goals as well. We must act quickly.
You see the object that contains the white jar of worms levitate over to this woman. Black eyes, red veins, faint, jewel around her neck, blood tipped lip. She holds her hand out, the other artifact that levitates into her hand. And says the Senderman will not be pleased. She walks out of the room, and Octavius watches her and says, "Famine, I hope you can succeed. If you cannot, I will intervene." The door slams shut behind her. The storm outside brews, and some time passes by when we, the audience, would pan to the front lobby, where we see that woman sleeping. And Famine walks over, takes the jewel from around her neck, holds it up, and you see some kind of gray specter leap out of it and flood back into this woman. And then she walks out of the library carrying what she's carrying. A few moments later, another lady walks up, nudges the woman at the desk. Drea, wake up. You're sleeping again. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a long time. I haven't slept in a long time. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I've just got a lot going on right now. The woman replies, Miss Conhair, I suggest if you cannot find the time to rest in order to get the proper amount of energy to perform your duties here, you may have to find another job. This is your final warning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Won't happen again. I promise. Anyway, your shift is over. You can go home. She packs up things spread out on her desk, and we, the audience, would see crime scene photos of rituals, killings, these bodies splayed open, silver discs at their foreheads. She packs them up, puts them in a folder, and puts them in her bag. Walks out of the library. In the central park, Olympian, we see the two old men continue to play chess. And we watch the storm brew above them as the tree beside them begins to wilt. They are intensely focused on the game. And you see the man in black move several pieces and take some of the chess pieces of the white. However, the man in white remains calm, moves one piece as his final movement. And you see him look up at the other man. And the other man looks up. And they both stand up, shake hands. And you see the man in black turn to ash. And as we pan out, we begin to see the buildings around the city begin to crumble and disintegrate. This will conclude the end of our story. However, this will be the end of the middle of our story. When we next continue, it will be the beginning of the beginning of our story. Thank you for watching.